Welcome to the Morning Sanity Check, where we talk about the different pillars of resilience: spiritual, physical, social, and mental. Join us so we can talk about it, then be about it. Let the show begin.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Sanity Check. My name is Seth.
And I'm Camille.
Hey, y'all, and we're here to make sure everything is good with you and you are good with everybody. Now, I know my background looks a little janky, but don't worry about it. Just taking care of some business out of town. So I will be back to my regular domain here shortly. What's going on with you, Camille? How you feeling?
Hey, everything is everything. As you see, I don't have my brace on today.
That is true. That is true. Didn't even recognize it, but you got turtleneck on. Is it a tight turtleneck or what?
It's not, it's pretty loose, I guess.
Mhm.
But it's raining, so long sleeves and a little turtleneck is gonna do me good right now.
Right on.
Yeah. So I gotta stretch a little bit. He wants me to start kind of weaning off of the soft one during the day. So as long as I'm at home, I don't have to wear it.
There you go. Good. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're getting together and getting back where you need to be. Right. And
Yes.
so, but ladies and gentlemen, glad that y'all are here today. If this is your first time tuning in, love you. Good morning. Let us know that you are here. Say good morning. We won't bite, and share this. Share it, because y'all, we're talking today about the need to be.
Yes.
And that can fall in so many different realms, right? You have the need to belong, you have the need to be loved, you got the need to be seen. We all have a need to be. And today we're going to talk about that and what it is that you can do to navigate through that. So it's not necessarily a need to have, but it's something that you can have or you can have go without. So go ahead, Camille, what you got about that? Like how do you see this as being something that can help individuals emotionally?
Well, I think that one, we have to recognize that everybody has a need to belong. You have needs and connections with yourself. You have needs and connections with other people. So knowing that, we have to figure out how we navigate that. And so I just, I just want to go and just, it really starts when we're babies, when we're born. You can look at the Freuds and the Maslows and look at our basic needs, but what remains the same no matter which scientist or psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever you want to look at. As humans, we have a innate need for connection. Connection to the world around us, to our families. And a lot of times when you don't get that as children, it affects the way you navigate relationships in your life going through. And belonging can also have negative effects where, you put yourselves in a situation where you want to belong so bad that you will kind of overlook your own values and systems.
Mhm.
You might stay in places too long and things like that. So belonging is a great thing. It increases our happiness. It makes us healthier and number of things. But at the end of the day, we have to figure out, where we belong, how we interact with the people in the world around us. So,
That's right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's always good. It's always good to belong, right? It's always good to belong. But I believe the most, I guess it's not necessarily unfortunate, but it's the hardest thing is when we try to force people to give us what we need. So, for example, ladies and gentlemen, the first one we're going to talk about is validation. Okay.
Yes.
Validation. So even our closest partners or friends, they don't always see, we don't always see eye to eye, and that's all right. But according to this one research done in 2016, most couples and friends find it important to operate on the same wavelength, right? So when your partner completely fails to see your perspective, you might feel misunderstood. All right. And so when you feel misunderstood, you feel invalidated sometimes. So it's our responsibility to look at things at a different view, and and just ask yourself, or try to ask them, um, hey, this is important to me. Do you understand that this is important to me? Right. And maybe that's all the validation that you need, but you can't expect everybody to go hard at what you think is important. And then if they don't, then you don't have that validation. You get what I mean? So we have to be careful about searching for validation from individuals that either A, can't, B, don't see the value in what you're doing, or D, is just not conscious enough to pick it on up. What you think, Camille?
Absolutely. We have to understand too that everybody seeks validation in different ways. Everybody, their needs for validation are different. Some people require validation all the time. No matter what they do, they have to have somebody to say it's okay before they move. There are other people that require very little, validation, and they're the ones that say, like, what's it? Do it and apologize later or whatever. What's the thing? I forget the
So
the
it's
thing.
ask for
Ask for permission. No.
forgiveness.
Yes, I
Yeah.
rather ask for forgiveness than to ask
Mm-hmm.
for permission. That's what it is. Good
Mm-hmm.
morning. Good morning, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we have different needs. And I think that what you said was really important is the art of communication. You have to let somebody know. You have to, first of all, you have to be honest about the fact that you're looking for someone else's approval.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
Right.
And it helps them to say, okay, well, if you really need this, then they can give it to you. But if you act like, I don't need nobody, but secretly you're searching for approval, you're setting yourself up for failure. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's one of the first things you have to do is be honest about your need for approval. The second thing is you have to communicate that need, whatever that is for you, whatever it looks like for you in terms of wanting validation. And then sometimes, you know what, you just got to do stuff for you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can't expect for somebody to just go along with everything that you say or validate everything. They're not going to agree. And
That's
if
right.
they like, just say, I like concerts. Don't you like them? They be like, no. And then you feel like, oh, dang, you don't like it. Go
Mm-hmm.
out on your own.
Yeah.
Take your own self to a concert. So how
Absolutely.
you feel? I mean,
Well, I think that before I used to search for that validation, because it's communal. You get what I mean? It's communal, and it kind of goes in line with acceptance. So I used to really need that until I realized that I did not need it to move forward. Right.
right.
And yes, like you said, sometimes validation from others isn't needed. Absolutely. And then I would also say one of my issues that I had to go through to learn was, if it's okay with me, am I okay with no one else celebrating me doing it? You
Yes,
get what I mean? And so
absolutely.
once that happened, I was able to do things and keep it pushing and just be all right. But the flip side about that is, when individuals do want to celebrate with you, you know,
Yes.
you won't take a compliment, right? You won't celebrate with them.
Mhm. This is true. And I think that
Double
that, go
sword.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the double-edged sword. So I believe it's
Mhm.
all a balance, right? So
It is.
yeah, yeah,
I,
there it
I was
is.
going to say, with that, talking about that, double-edged sword, you want people to celebrate with you, but you might not always celebrate with them. I think that that's that kind of that in-group thing, like you want to be a part of a group, but then these groups are in competition with each other, right?
Hmm.
So it's like
Hmm.
my win is somebody else's loss,
That's right.
and you want people to celebrate your win.
Hmm.
However, this person is still feeling a certain way because, just in broad terms, general terms, they've lost something because
Hmm.
of your gain. And so it's like at the same time, if it was the flip side, would you do the same for them?
That's right.
Would you cheer for them, or, are you going to be all salty and mad and, feel a certain way about their celebration of whatever it is when you're feeling a loss?
That's right.
So those in groups and those, feelings it is a double-edged sword. Very
Hmm.
much so.
Yeah, it
Very
can
much
be. It can be. So, ladies and gentlemen, so we're talking about the need to be and how important it is, and or how important it it is for you to understand other people's needs, right? So the next one is autonomy. Okay. And what autonomy is being able to be with yourself and celebrating other individuals. So, like, as a relationship deepens and your partner often begins sharing interests and activities and other aspects, you might notice you're becoming more close, right? More of a unit, right? Together, you know what I'm saying? But no matter how long the relationship becomes, it's essential to maintain your sense of self.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to maintain your sense of self, and so while you might have plenty of things in common, you're two separate people, right, with unique goals, hobbies, friends, and values. And keep this in mind, family. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. You
Yes.
being even in friendships, right? It's friendships, relationships, even occupational. It you owning and understanding who you are is all right. You're not going to jail with everybody, and everybody isn't going to jail with you. That does not mean that they don't like, love, and trust you.
Yes.
They're just their own individuals. You
Yes.
get what I'm saying? So when it comes down to a need to be, sometimes what we do is we shun people because they're not like us or they don't think like us. But however, what we should do is learn how to celebrate individuals' individuality, because what makes them different is what we were essentially attracted to. You see, that's what we forget. See, you liked someone or you love someone. What's going on, huh? So you liked and loved someone based off of how different they were. But the longer you got together, y'all start to say, "Oh, I like this too. We like this too. You like this too." But then when you see the other stuff that they like that you don't like, you're like, "Oh, why you like that? Why you like you fool? They been liked it." You know what I'm saying? So we have to be cognizant of that need to be, and understand you have to stay who you are, and the individuals have to stay who they are. Go ahead, Camille.
Yes, everybody, the power of your own choice. We talk about self acceptance, we talk about self determination, self awareness, all this, which involves self, which means that you have to make choices for yourself. So it's hard to be in a relationship with someone who wants to tell you what you should do all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it a lot where people, and even myself, the moment I feel like somebody is trying to control my every thought, my every move, how I do things, I'm like, don't you think I have the power to choose what I want? You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I'll start like not physically fighting back, but you know what I mean? I'll start pushing back a little bit because I'm like, I do have a need for autonomy. We are in a relationship. However, there are some things that I know that I need for myself. And you can't tell me what those needs are. You need to listen to what I'm telling you I need. Don't try to tell me what I need. I'm
Exactly.
telling you,
Mhm.
because I know better than anybody what I need. So right now,
Absolutely.
I need for you to listen.
Mhm.
So, that autonomy is so important. People will rebel. People will lash out if they feel like they're under this extreme pressure and control of somebody who doesn't allow them to express who they are, what they want, what they like, And then again, on the same token, we have to remember that, the same autonomy you wanted or the power of choice to say no,
Mhm.
or I don't want to go there, or I don't like that. We
Mhm.
have to expect that from the other person as well, because they
Mhm.
also have that same need for autonomy.
Mhm.
And now if y'all just want to be two separate people, you might not want to join in the
Right.
relationship if
Right.
it's
Right. Right.
all about autonomy and everything. I don't know how
Mhm.
that's going to work. But
Right.
on the other hand, if you do decide to be in a relationship or a group or whatever, you have to understand that people have personal choices as to what they want to do, and you have to respect them. you know
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. And it's okay. It's okay to do that. And what we fail to realize is that we have individuals in our our circle, all just different things, but we don't respect. them and their individuality, right? And so Hugh says, understanding yourself and having personal time helps keep the relationship stronger. The sooner this is understood, the less confrontations slash disagreements you have in your relationships. That's absolutely true. Thank you for that, Hugh. And it makes so much sense. And it's just being open and being honest. Say, hey, I like this, and this is what I like. Now, if you don't like it, understand that I don't want to stop doing what I like. What you don't want to do when it comes down to that autonomy is lose it.
Yes.
You understand? You don't want to lose that, because what that is your identity. Now, it's one thing. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I don't care who hear it. If this is your jam, this is your jam. But couples that go out wearing matching outfits is corny to me. I'm with him and I'm with her, but y'all got the same, all the way down to the Air Force Ones, right? Down to the same Jordans. To me, that's corny. Whatever. You see what I'm saying? But I understand it's like we couple, we look like twins, whatever. It's lame to me. However, when it is everything, when you start to lose your individuality,
Yes.
now it starts to look suspect. Like, okay, what are you doing, and why are we really doing this? Like, okay, we're together. Do we got to, now we got to wear matching barrettes now? You get what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? You get what I'm saying? So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, Seth. I never got that.
I think I'm wrong. Like, so what, Camille? You've had matching outfits?
No, I've never had matching outfits, but I kind of wanna. No, just I mean, color schemes, maybe a shirt now and then. If we have the same designer, but I'm not into the matching the whole thing. But who's to say? I don't know. I might one day. I don't know. I just never been there. But I say do whatever you like. But it's a point where some things become controlling. You again lose yourself. For kids and pictures.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Even my pictures, we ain't matching. So
yo, look,
I don't know.
Herman, not far from me right now, and I'm sure he's somewhere rocking the his and hers outfit right now. Yeah,
Herm, say it ain't so.
No,
say
it's
it ain't
so.
so.
You know it is. Nah, he ain't gonna say nothing. Hey, y'all, look, as a matter of fact, too, before we get too deep into it, y'all, don't forget, we're still doing a campaign for The Village, y'all. The Village is a great organization that's helping the young men to helping young men mentor. They're mentoring young men in the cities of St. Louis. And what we're doing this in front of the Mike incentive is donating games and board games to the young men. Okay, because of this pandemic, they're still locked down at home and bored stiff. However, they can learn how to play Chutes and Ladders. You understand? They can play Trouble and all that, and learn how to play Life and Monopoly. My goodness, right? I don't know if you guys learned this or not, or know this or not, but in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, the rich dad taught the young man about investing by playing Monopoly. He was like, hey, I'm trying to learn how to, make money. You get what I mean? He says, well, what you think I'm doing? He says, what do you think I'm doing? He said, no, I think we're just playing the game. He was like, this is how you learn about investment. So I'm telling y'all, check it on out. Make sure that y'all, if y'all interested in donating, you just go to Cash App, give Lions Cast, it's $ Lions Cast. Make sure you put it in LIONSCAST and put in parentheses The Village. Okay, so at the end of May, we're going shopping and just going to get a whole bunch of stuff. Right, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but we appreciate everyone that did give. We appreciate your support.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
But but good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're talking about the need to be and to keep yourself sane in friendships, relationships, and working ships. You understand? Because there's individuals that do things for other people because they are lacking a certain something in here. And unfortunately, sometimes we do things in order to get that need back. Camille, you heard about that, the golden rule: treat others the way that you want to be treated.
Mhm.
Okay,
I don't
so
subscribe to that.
right, so I cashed that on in and upgraded it to the platinum rule.
Platinum. Hmm.
Yes, you
Yeah.
treat people the way they want
They
to
want
be
to be
treated.
treated.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can sit there looking like boo boo the fool trying to treat somebody the way you want to be treated, and they don't understand how you're treating them. You see,
Yeah.
because of their background, morals, and upbringing. What you think about that? How important that is?
Very important. I had a couple lessons, but I've been saying that for years. Having troops or whatever, you can't treat people the way that you want to be treated because everybody doesn't require the same things.
Right.
You may be a person who needs validation; they don't. They're a
Mhm.
person who are self-driven. They need maybe a person who needs affection, and you don't. And if
Mhm.
you starve them of that, then they're not getting what they need, and you wonder why they're not performing or whatever. My kids also, my youngest one always tell Mama, I am not my sister. You cannot raise me the same way. And she's right. I have to treat her much different than I do her sister.
Yes.
Now, basic rules are the same, of the
Mhm.
house or whatever the case may be. There's a level of respect, but I do have to approach things differently with her because she's a different person and she requires different needs. And so I think that I was glad, when I saw that platinum role because it is so true. And then you know what? That also cuts down on disappointments because we expect people. I would never do that. Well, you're not them. You know what I mean? And so when you understand that, people are not going to treat you the way that you know you want to be treated all the time. They're going to treat you the way that they want to be treated. Then you say, oh, there's something to this,
Right.
because I don't want to be treated like that. If you dealing with that, that's what you want. That's fine, but it ain't for me,
That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
think that's absolutely so important for people to adopt.
Yes, it
Treat
is.
people the way that they want to be treated,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's bad. Then you
Yeah,
don't want to do that.
yeah, unless it's bad. And I mean, honestly, we're doing everything out of love, right? So, but shout out to everyone that's watching. We appreciate y'all. This is the morning sanity check to make sure you start your week off right. Keep this in mind. Doesn't matter where you're from, okay? Where you're from, what you think your week, how your week starts. The thing is, it starts in your mind. So if you are wrapping your mind around, hey, I want my next week to look this way, it's important for you to get a little check in your life so you can realize you've been doing something stupid the last week. You see? So you get your mind together Saturday, and Sunday you're gonna push everything on out, and on Monday you go get your mind right. You dig? So what we're talking about, y'all, is the need to be. The next one is acceptance. That is
Yes.
different than validation.
Yes.
Okay, understand that. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Cece. I see you on there. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Reese. Good morning, everybody. Share this. Share. If you're watching this, if there's anything that you can dig from this, make sure you let your friends and family know. Other than that, you're just hating and you don't want to share this good news. But so we're talking about acceptance, right? And so it's a sense of belonging, but it might increase, right? When you feel or you're giving the other individual an opportunity to, let's say, plan activities together. You see what I'm saying? Instead of doing everything, you're helping, you're including individuals in the building process, or you're able to share your dreams, your goals, and your future with those individuals. You get what I mean? And you can feel comfortable doing that. They can feel comfortable doing that for you. And the next one is ask for advice and when making decisions. Now, keep this in mind, y'all. Not everybody is able to receive that space, occupy that type of space. So I say this with love and ask you to do this with caution. You can't tell everybody your dreams. You feel me? Because you see what happens when you do. Or you can't introduce everybody to your family because some of them might be out of line. The person that you with may
I
be out of
can.
line. You don't need them to be accepted by everybody, if that makes sense. You see? So understand what acceptance means. Some people need to be accepted and want to be accepted, but you have to have that conversation to say, hey, listen, I can give you this much, but I need to see this much based off of what you do with what I give you. You see? It's like bringing in two different types of friends. If you have friends dynamics that move this way, then you have another friend dynamic that move this way. What is the good thing that we can do to bridge them together? But if there isn't enough that gels, then it may behoove you to keep that separated and to compartmentalize. Hopefully that makes sense. Camille, what do you think about that as far as that acceptance piece?
The acceptance is, I mean, it's a natural need for us. We want to be a part of a group, a family.
Mhm.
When you're dating somebody, you hope that they're the type that you can bring home, and that your family will accept them.
Yes.
And it's just with acceptance in groups like that or relationships, you have to be careful because there's a downside to that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the need to be accepted is so great that,
Mm-hmm.
again, like I said earlier, you will compromise your morals, your values, everything you believe in just to be a part of this group. And you'll accept those ideals and things that are contrary to what you are about, just
Mm-hmm.
to fit in or just to have that relationship. Oh, he's so fine and everything, but he a dog. He treats you
Mm-hmm.
like, or oh, she's so fine, but she's just got the nastiest attitude. But our need to be accepted sometimes is so great that we'll put up with that bad behavior. We'll stay in relationships longer than we should. We
Mm-hmm.
will, be put in positions in these groups that go against our morals and our values, just to say we belong to somebody.
That's right.
So I mean, acceptance is good, in a lot of senses, because we have to have that external, involvement with people. But self acceptance, this is who I am. Once you accept yourself, and you have that energy that you know who you are, the right groups will come, the
That's
right
true.
people will come.
That's true.
And going back to I forgot his name's Hugh, I think it was, his
Mm-hmm.
comment about understanding yourself. If
Mm-hmm.
you understand yourself, you'll understand and you won't compromise some of those
Absolutely.
things too. And you'll understand that there are some groups that you just should not be in, no matter
Exactly.
how cool they look. I'm having some storms over here, so hopefully the power won't go out. It just flickered. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so once you know yourself and you accept yourself, hopefully you won't compromise
That's
yourself,
true. So
to be in groups that you don't belong.
absolutely. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, understand this goes both ways, right? Because some people don't open up easily. Okay. And they might have other reasons for not including you in certain parts of their life. You understand this? They may have their own reasons. So keep in mind, it's not always you. You get what I mean? Get out of your head. It's not always you. Hopefully, y'all can dig that. All right. So that you have that piece, but also keep this in mind. At the same time, feeling like you don't belong can make it difficult for you to see yourself in a long-term friendship, relationship, or even occupation. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all might be doing something for work and you don't feel like you are included. You might want to reevaluate yourself and see, hey, what is my own validity here? It's like in a movie, what's my motivation? You dig? Like, what's my angle? Like, what is it that I'm truly doing? So with that being said, here's a strategy to kind of work that out. If you haven't already, invite certain people around your groups, or if, I would say invite them, like to your friends, family, right? And just have those open conversations. But what you don't want to do is force yourself into groups that you're not invited in. Hey, I'm going to say this real quick. We have groups of individuals that want to be included. Feel as though, hey, this organization over here is not including me and there's a problem. So I'm going to create a campaign to force these individuals to include me or include individuals that look like me. When you do that, ladies and gentlemen, how comfortable do you think you're going to be on the other side of that door? Why? Because they didn't want you there in the first place. Use your discernment. Realize that not every door is meant for you to walk through.
Nope.
See? So you don't want to push being accepted. It should be a natural thing. You know what? I'm gonna give this to you, Camille. And before the break, Eddie Murphy once said, "Love is like a fart." Okay, listen. He says if you have to force it, it might be.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing here. If you got to force your way into something, you might be stepping in something. Right on. But,
Right on.
so, go ahead. What you gonna say?
I was about saying, when you do that, people ostracize you even in the group that you're in. And I just want to say this about rejection and being ostracized. Ostracized in the work center is horrible because it affects your performance. It affects how people interact, teamwork and everything else. But at the same time, neurologically, it causes, when you're accepted in a group, you're all happy, you feel good, the little receptors in your brain that says, I love this or whatever go off. When you're rejected or ostracized, it has the opposite effect. It literally damages your brain, and the receptors that cause physical pain go off, which is why when we have heartbreak, we feel that that's that rejection, that I'm no longer wanted. I'm on the out group of this relationship, that physical pain that you feel, just being with the wrong people or having that breakup or not being accepted in that group, trying to force yourself, and they keep pushing you out, constantly subjecting yourself to rejection causes a physical reaction, a physical pain and neurological damage in your brain. Just putting out there. I don't want to be nobody where nowhere that I'm not wanted. You know what I'm saying? There are some places that you need to be. You need to have a seat at the table, but at the same time, I'm not gonna force myself.
That's
where
right.
I'm not wanted.
Yeah, and you shouldn't, and that's what life shouldn't be, a forced action. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all here on the Sanity Check, we're talking about the need to be, and we have to take a moment for our sponsors, but we will be right back. All right.
Integrity Consulting and Professional Services, LLC, is a minority, female-owned, nonprofit management consulting agency located in Humble, Texas, north of Houston. The owner, Jackie Dozier, has over 36 years of nonprofit and for-profit business management experience. She can take your idea from thought to manifestation while offering a myriad of services to help you successfully manage your business along the way. Her services include state filing anywhere in the United States, getting your employee identification number and 501c3 tax determination, providing cooperative and service agreements and mandatory documents, one-on-one grant writing training and consultation, board and staff development, and more. Ms. Dozier's clients include the U.S. Departments of Health and Human Services, the Administration of Children and Youth, U.S. and Caddo Parish, Louisiana Departments of Education, and the list goes on. References are available. Check her out on our Facebook page, Integrity Consulting and Professional Services, LLC, and contact her by email at integrityconsultingpsllc@gmail.com. Rates are competitive. Say you heard about her on Sanity Check for a 5% discount. ICPS, providing all of your small business and grant writing needs with integrity and professionalism.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to Sanity Check. Y'all, we're talking about the need to be, but I do want to let you guys know, if you look in the comments, make sure that if you're digging what we're talking about, you go to the lionspride.com reviews and let us know about it. Let us know what this conversation is doing for you or the individuals that's watching with you. And it is so important, so important. Also, too, make sure that you download the app Lions Pride Network on Roku or Amazon Fire, and that will help you to see our pretty faces and all of the other shows. So we have the Lion's Den, the Lioness Lair that Camille is on. We have the Jermaine Hall show, So Genergy. We got so much stuff going on, y'all. We got so much stuff going on, but it's great. So make sure y'all go and download that app, y'all. It's some good stuff. It's good stuff. And then you can watch this on high definition. Right on. So CC, hey, what's going on? CC says, when you don't know yourself, you strive to get validation in numerous ways and keep looking for something that sticks/fits to boost your self-esteem and image. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And look at my friend, my good old hating friend.
Thank you, Herm.
Thank you, Herm. Hey, because guess what? You on the show. When you ain't, you know what? I got you. But look, anyway. But look, to CC's point, she's absolutely right, y'all. So we're talking about the need to be, but we have to understand that everything that we have inside of us is everything we need. Now, everybody else is a want, right? They can add cherries on top of little sprinkles here and there. You did what I'm saying? But no one is ultimately responsible for your happiness or for your feeling of self-worth. That is yours. You understand? And how you view it. And it's your responsibility to create a space that individuals can operate in for the level of love that you have for yourself. Right? Because we talk about this a lot, family. Not everybody is able to love you the way that you need to be loved. That does not mean you change your love. That don't mean you're going to dim down your light just so somebody else can see. Listen, if that fool got to put on glasses because you shining, let them get some glasses. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to turn down everything out. You know what I mean? That's not good. That's not good. And so, what's this? King says, we don't need other people for guidance. You're absolutely right. You really don't. However, I will say this, and you tell me what you think about this, Camille. I think that we have examples all around us, good and positive examples. However, we need to understand the right way to do things to get the desired result that we want. Because when you're forcing people to do what you think you need, it's not going to work out right. If you don't know how to articulate your, not necessarily hurt, but your desire, and if someone else hear you and they're listening, but they still choose to do something else, they don't care. You need to know that they don't care. So stop. Watch this. It's like looking for that lost shoe. You look in the closet. The shoe isn't there. How many times you go into the shoe? It's like in the refrigerator. Look, you ran out of milk last week. Right on. Stop opening and closing. Wait a minute. If I close my eyes and pop it open, the milk will be there. No. So we got to not do that with people. Realize that some people ain't gonna have the milk that you want. You understand?
Yeah, I was about to say, but I do be looking, 15 times in the closet, and then all of a sudden it's right there in my face. I'm like, I've been in here 10 times.
No,
like, who put it there? No,
that don't happen.
It really does. It really does. But no, I totally get what you're saying. But to King's point, yeah, we do need other people for guidance. We need other people, but you have to understand that people have to be two things, right? So everybody needs guidance. We have those examples, like Seth was saying, that we look to. We have to make sure that they're the right ones. People who are where we want to be, not just somebody who over here jaw japping and ain't done nothing, or want to tell you what you can't do. Mm-hmm. Those people, a lot of times they guide us through fear. but let me find somebody who was brave enough to do it and go after that. The second thing is that sometimes, we see something that somebody needs, but they have to be open to receiving that, and sometimes you just have to say, okay, like my saying I always say when I tell my troops, when you get over yourself, I'm here. And I meant that. When you figure out that, you can't do it by yourself, or if you need some additional assistance, then I will be here to provide that. But I understand that people have to go through some things themselves. They have to figure it out. They have to figure out exactly what they need, where they need. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes they just don't know. And they're like, nope, I got it, until they figure out they don't have it,
Mm-hmm.
But forcing that on somebody can also have negative repercussions, because people need guidance, yes, but sometimes you need to wait until they ask for that guidance, because they could be on a road of discovery.
That's
And you
right.
don't want
That's
to,
right.
impede that or whatever. So sometimes we have to be patient even when we have the answers, just like our
Yeah.
kids.
And also too, to King's point, it says some are leaders and some are followers. Some need to be leaders and others need to be led. But however, those individuals that need to be led need to be leadable. You see what I'm
They have
saying?
to be open to it.
Like,
Yes.
like you're not going to waste time on a fool that think that how someone that's blind going to tell me where to go? Look, regardless of their experience, but if I'm going in this direction and they look in the other direction telling me where to go, but they're blind, I cannot waste time. And to Cece's point, look, giving someone what they need requires me to be invested, right? We can't be invested in everyone, which is true, meaning not everybody is our mission, right? But keep this in mind, you're not everybody's mission either. So if someone ain't digging you, it's a reason behind that. But that brings us to our next point, y'all. Now, this is different, but it goes in line. Security. Yes. You see? Security. So what that means is a healthy relationship. And again, we're talking about relationship as far as loving, intimate, family, work, friends, whatever, right? But a healthy relationship, you should feel secure. Okay? Right? But security can mean different things. So watch this. They know how to respect your boundaries. You dig? Right? And they feel safe to share their feelings. Now, this goes back and forth. You feel like, you can share your feelings and they can share theirs. You understand? And yes, hey, what's going on, Sims? You're absolutely right. So with that being said, you have that. The feel of they feel physically safe around you, and vice versa. It's not about how big or how small a person is, but they feel secure that you are operating in a positive space where you are protecting them emotionally, if that makes sense. All right. But your presence, they feel secure with you. And next one is believe they support their your choices. You know what I'm saying? So regardless if I agree with your choice or not, I still support you in that choice, if that makes sense. So just because I don't like what you're doing don't mean I don't like you. Okay, well listen, you ever heard that saying, if you like it, I love it? That's a it's almost like passive aggressive. You understand? That's passive aggressive. You're right. Security in relationship is based on self-confidence. You're absolutely right. But if someone is doing something that you don't really care for, you don't necessarily have to say, well, if you like it, I love it. You saying, look, well, whatever, I'm just going to rock with you. No, don't be that, because what you're doing is you're underlying hating, right? You are. So if you said that, slap yourself when you get off the sanity check and realize that you was hating on somebody. All right. But so how important is that security to you, Camille?
Security, it comes in so many different forms. You know what I mean? And I saw what Hugh says, based on your self-confidence. Yes and no. And I say that because you can have a lot of self-confidence, but that self-confidence, you got to have confidence in somebody else, that they're going to be doing the things that you need to feel secure. Like, I could be as self-confident as I want managing my bank account, but do I trust you to do that? You know what I mean? Are you confident enough, or do you have the ability to do you know, what you need to do. If you say, I want to do this bills, you know, can you balance a checkbook? But anyway, the need to feel secure in my case, because I have such a long history of abuse, that was always a huge thing for me, is somebody's ability to protect in terms of being secure, you know, me. And so there were some people that just wasn't gonna make the cut because
Right.
of my prior experience, my prior need, my prior, you know, everything. And so when I look at security, it's in so many different ways. But I also had to like, to your point, that size doesn't mean security or protection. You know, a certain stature doesn't mean security, because you could have a big old dude with 1,000 muscles, but he'd be a cupcake. You know what I mean? Like, then what does that mean for me in terms of that type of physical security?
Exactly.
Nothing much, you know. But anyway, to your point, yes, I think that, you know, it just comes in so many different
No, it
ways.
does. No, I
You
get
know,
it.
like for me, it's money. For me, it's because of, you know, having spouses or partners that did not, were not able to handle money. It's a physical thing because of my history of abuse. It's an emotional thing. Are you going to protect my emotions? Am I secure in telling you how I feel without being judged, without being, you know, like talked about, without being all of these things? Can I trust that if I tell you my deepest secrets, that they're going to be safe and secure with you?
Absolutely.
You know, so there are
Right.
so many layers
That's
to
what,
security.
right.
Yes.
Right. And that's what we're talking about. And so I want to get with these, like, so to King's point says, is the need to be secure a necessity? And I
For
think
me, yes.
it depends on the individual, and we all have different, like, for example, I don't need my significant other, my wife, my girlfriend, or whatever to fight my battles for me. However, I'm such a goal-oriented individual, and if I bounce ideas off of you and they're being shut down to me, they're being shut down to you, they may be, you know, well, I'm just want to give you a different perspective to look at that. That means that if I don't feel secure in telling you that because of how I feel about the way that you see them, I don't feel secure in talking about the things that I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So it's different types. And so Herm says, no secure equals going through phones and stuff like that. Now that's insecurity. No, you're absolutely right. That's a whole nother show.
Whole nother type.
But I get what you're saying. But it's still it's in the same vein, if you will, because if you trust the individual that you're with, you already know you should trust that they're not going to hurt you. But what the point of this security and the need to have that security is to understand what you need as an individual and being able to smartly explain to the individual that you care about, this is the type of need that I have. Now, again, after you have said all that you have said, after you have done all that you have done, I don't say just stand there and look stupid. Understand that this individual cannot do it.
And provide the security you need.
There you go. They cannot. But you have to understand that if this individual or this situation or this job isn't able to give you that, you pushing it and still creating or trying to get something out of it that's not there, now it becomes your fault.
Yes. And it makes you more insecure, and it's harder for you to you know, move on with the next person with that. Right. And to Richard's point, it is a basic need. That's one of our basic needs is security, excuse me. Whether it's security in shelter, security in food. Man, I don't know what just happened. I think my allergies, but it is a basic need on so many different levels that we have to feel secure before we can move on and do something else.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna mute myself because I got a cough.
No, go ahead, handle your business. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about these needs and the needs to be right. We're talking about security. We're talking about just being accepted and everything. But I want you guys to talk about, or to let me know what you think about empathy. How important is empathy? Okay, how important is empathy? And what I mean by that is having empathy means that you can imagine how someone else feel, right? So this is ability to essentially, it's an ability that's essential to relationships, romantic relationships, specifically romantic relationships, but it's not limited to that. But let's use this example, right? Let's say someone forgets your birthday, right? And then you feel angry and hurt, right? After being together for 11 years. How could they forget? But by using that empathy, you're able to say, hey, maybe because this person was working so dang on hard, and maybe because these kids are going crazy that they lost sight of the day, right? And so why would you put so much on someone without putting yourself in their shoes to say, okay, I can understand how you can forget. This is the deal, ladies and gentlemen. And Herm says, yes, it's important if you want to connect with someone. Listen, this is the deal. If someone has been rocking with you for years, or let's say they've been rocking with you for months, either they know you and they know you and you know them and they love and trust you, or you're starting to learn them and they're starting to love you. But let's just say the more realistic, someone that you're loving and thopping with, you dig, and all of a sudden they forget your zodiac sign. If you don't get out my face, it's 12 of them. You dig? It's 12. So understand, maybe 13, who knows? Who cares? But if you care, I want to remember it, but charge it to my mind and not my heart. So we have to be able to use that empathy to say, you know what? I know Seth is a busy guy, right? I can understand if he forget. Don't make a habit of it, and let me tell him, hey, I appreciate if you remember this, and then watch this. Give me the opportunity to say, you know what? Let me put this in my phone because I know how busy I can be. I'm gonna make it a priority. Don't hammer me though, because after that, then I really don't want to remember it, and I don't want to remember your number. You get what I'm saying? So, what you think about that empathy?
It's very important, as most people say. You have to. Herm, I'm looking at his, but you have to realize that you have to, even if you haven't gone through something, you have to have a level of, you know what, you've gone through it.
Yes.
Let me listen to you. Let me hear you out. Let me try to understand your point of view, or you won't get anywhere. It's so hard. And then it causes you to shut down. You don't want to open up to anybody in a relationship without communication, without trust, without openness, honesty. I mean, how far do you really go? You can be with somebody for a long time and never know who they are, if that's not important to you. But you have to be able to somewhat put yourselves in someone else's shoes. And when we're dealing with even work relationships or, personal relationships, it's really good to get to know the person. Because their past history will tell a lot. We say a lot of times we don't take the time to get to know people. Like I say, even at work, when they would walk and I say, hey, and there's something wrong, I'm like, you come back here. I've said it 1,000 times on here, because it gives you that connection to somebody, that somebody says, you know what, even though this is not what you've gone through, you care enough to ask me about it. You care enough to try to see my point. You care enough to try to help me through. And it really forms stronger bonds and connections with people. And so empathy is just so important. Nobody ever cares about you. Why would you invest in that? Why would you keep showing up for work? Why would you keep doing, giving of yourself if they can't even, hey, I know that you've gone through X, Y, and Z. Let me approach this differently, because I know that this doesn't work for you.
No, I get you. No, you're absolutely right. And what King says, does that mean that we need to be known and need to be understood? I don't think, you know what? I think that it's about being in a space with someone that is okay not to agree. it's okay for us not to like the same things, or like not to do it. You know, we don't have to do all the same things. However, saying, just like to what Camille was saying, just being able to say, oh, all right, I feel you, or I can see why you would say that, and it's okay. Still, I'm an individual. I can dig what you're saying, but this is my thought process, without demonizing or humiliating someone because they don't agree with you, or don't see the same thing, or believe or operate in the same way that you do. For example, if I was doing something, let's just use the birthday thing. If I said, hey, hey, my birthday is April 10th, and by the way, Aries is the anyway. So if I said, hey, my birthday is April 10th, right? And I've been knowing you for years, and you ask me 2 years later, hey, when is your birthday? Just because my birthday is important to me, I have to keep in mind you have a life too. You see what I'm saying? My satellite, or my universe, is moving one way and yours is moving the other way. But I have to be honest and use empathy to understand that you have other things going on, that at least you care enough to bring it up. Right. But now, if you just keep shunning it, it's like, yo, when I'm gonna stop telling you about my birthday and I'm gonna celebrate it myself. Now, when I go back, or like my next birthday, plan on going to like Dubai. If you didn't get it last year when my birthday was, you ain't gonna get it this time, right on. So that's what we're talking about. But Sims, he says, if it's always about you, is there any empathy in your life? Right? Not to be confused with sympathy. Yeah, absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So empathy, you're being able to get outside of yourself. And like Camille was saying, just by saying, oh, I understand where you're coming from. That is so small, but so huge.
It's
that
huge.
lets you know, oh, well, then this person is really, here to give me what I think I need. And here's a question for you, Camille.
What do I need to be? I need to be understood.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be given some sort of space to operate in my, the way I need to. I'm creative when I'm by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I need, what else do I need? Security. I need security in several areas of my life, because of my past. I might seem like I'm very secure. I have everything that I need, but there are certain things that I desire from other people to help me feel a little bit more secure, especially when I'm in a relationship. I need autonomy. I need to be able to think on my own, to be able to do on my own certain things. So I have a lot of needs. I know what those needs are, but it goes with the empathy. You know what I mean? Are we taking the time to get to know that? And even if you don't agree, like I could be around people all day and I say, well, I can't. I need that space. Okay, well, even though you can be by yourself, then this is what I need. Can we agree that we can't be together all the time? That maybe I can have an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours a day by myself to be able to do that. And the rest of the time we can connect, So it really is empathy. You are stepping outside of yourself. Sometimes it's a compromise depending on what type of relationship it is. Sometimes it's just a conversation. Sometimes it's a listening ear. Sometimes it's just, I see what you say, but here's another perspective, but the fact that somebody else is being heard.
Mm-hmm.
It again builds the trust in them. It forms those connections. It makes that relationship, no matter what type of relationship it is, so much stronger.
So, and to King's question, it says, what about me, right? What do I need, right, to be? You know what? I think at this point of my life, there's just once. Because I'm a firm believer that any need that's outside of myself, if I place it in the hands of man, then it will be fallible. You understand? So I would say I would like someone to embody a certain level of empathy. I would love for someone to embody the space of security. Like I would want to have a certain level of security with the individual that I'm spending my time with. You get what I mean? I want that. You know what I'm saying? However, the reason why I want to be cautious with the names or the words, the needs and the wants, is because I still have to be able to operate without. You understand? I still have to be able to operate without that person giving me what I think I need. You get what I'm saying? So I have to, first of all, understand that I can find it somewhere else, or maybe I need to redirect my focus. Instead of what we're getting ready to talk about is prioritization. Okay, so that's another need for certain people. So it's pretty normal to want your partner or your friend, coworker, whatever, to make you a priority. You understand what I'm saying? That's normal.
Oh, I know
Like
that.
whatever you got going on, right after you got that going on, I'm next, right? So you want to be like, you want to know you come first, and then that whatever needs that you have, that it's next in line. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, right? So most people have a few or more significant relationships, right? And from time to time, someone else in their life might need to come first, as much as a friend going through like a crisis, or family member experiencing like a rough patch, or whatever the case it is. But in general, though, if you don't feel like a priority in their life, you probably feel as though they don't value your presence, right? And that can make you wonder why you even bother in the relationship. You see, so we need to be aware of our levels of priority and where we place people and where we are placed. You understand?
Exactly.
So what do you think about that, Camille? Do you understand that it can be a need for other people to be a priority in your life when they are
Absolutely.
not?
Absolutely. Two things I had to deal with that, being, I remember being in a marriage, and that was my, like, I just want you to make me a priority. I want you to consider me.
Mhm.
And that never happened. I was always, on the bottom rung. And so I'm like, when am I a priority? And then it came to me when I make myself one. And so I started doing all the things that I wanted to do, needed to do, whatever. And then eventually, that relationship didn't work out because I was not a priority ever, it seemed. You know what I mean? No matter what. So I had to prioritize myself, and I had to prioritize my needs and my wants and things like that. And then at the same time, when we want us to be a priority in somebody else's life, you would think that it would be reciprocal too, right? That they would be a priority. But there are some people that have more, they're higher on the rung than another person. Like, I have a friend who may want all of this stuff, but I got kids. You know what I mean? So my kids are my priority. My ability to provide for my kids is a priority. So that may leave you out sometimes. And then for people who are very social like me, I have a few very close friends, but I have a lot of people that call, and I don't have enough hours in a day to talk to everybody and make everybody a priority, plus my job, plus my family and everything like that. And sometimes, to be honest, my family suffers. And so I have to keep that in mind, when we're talking about priorities. Who am I making a priority? And sometimes I have to carve out that time. But yes, I have people who feel like they should be a priority in my life, but they're not a priority in my life. I have higher priorities. Excuse me. I think it's the allergies, y'all. Forgive me. I've been battling. But they think they should be higher, on that list than they are. And so that causes some resentment sometimes, or somebody be like, you ain't make time for me. And I'm like, how many people I got to make time for?
And you know what? And that's what I mean. And that is unfortunate. And that goes back to that individual's ego. Okay. So, and it still touches on that empathy, because if you don't have empathy, then you won't recognize that an individual have other things going on than you. You understand? Hey, I still love you. Trust me, I do. But there's 24 hours in the day. So if I make it a priority to put you in one of those hours, it's okay. Understand that, because you don't have to have anything, if that makes sense, right? Especially if you have kids, if you have children, and if you have you have significant other. Let's say you have something going on at home. Let's say your parent is sick, right? If your priorities change, individuals that are your friends, significant others, even coworkers, they need to understand that. And then I'm gonna touch on this just a little bit, even though I'm not, in the military anymore. This goes to any type of organization. When you are a supervisor, or a superintendent, whatever the case it is, and you know your people, you can realize or be willing to have the conversation if something is happening with the individual that you are, or that's working with you, or a subordinate of yours. Have that open conversation, and you will see if their priorities shift at home, chances are they're not able to give you the same output at work because of their priorities has been, moved around. So that happens with conversation. Then you can say, okay, cool. I know you're going through this at home. First, let me know what you need. Okay. Then I can let you know what I need based off of your limiting, situation. But if you never have that conversation, you think it's all about you and what you need and what this job need. And you may be talking to your subject matter expert, but something is happening in life where they cannot give you what you need. So when it comes down to that prioritizing and understanding thing, it goes both ways. Understand what you need, understand what someone else need, and be able to adjust. Right. And so everyone gets at least part of what they need, that compromise. Does that make sense? What you think about that, Camille?
Absolutely. I'm big on that. Like I said, my thing is reading the body language, seeing what isn't shown and hearing what isn't said. So when I see somebody off, I'm like, hold on. And there's been times when they had to do something. I'm like, somebody else can pick it up, or we can take care of it tomorrow. You need to take care of your family, or you need to go home and take care of, because if they don't take care of that priority, they cannot come back and take care of yours.
See?
Or it'll be done in a manner that or they may just mess it up completely because their mind is not focused on that. So I'm big on that, giving people the opportunity to take care of, especially when it's like a big thing. Sometimes they just need to talk it through it, and you can help them through it. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I can worry about that later. But again, to your point, is having that conversation. And that's in any type of relationship. You have to have the conversation about priorities, because especially when you're in a relationship and your priorities don't align and you don't have that conversation, one person can be left feeling very neglected,
Right.
And it's simply not that I'm not this is just, I have to get this done for right now. I was going to make time for you, but then now it's a big old issue. You know what I mean? So you have to really, that communication piece in terms of that priorities. What are your priorities? And that's why, we used to have family meetings and stuff like that when I was younger. And I probably sometimes wish I did, but it's me and my daughter mostly. But what are our priorities? What do we have big going on in our lives? And when you share that kind of stuff, then you can see, hey, well, maybe I need to, instead of wanting them to make me the priority, maybe I need to support them, because this really is bigger than what I got going on. So that open communication is super, super important in terms of that priorities.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this last one we're going to talk about is something that we all know, right? We all know and we want, but we don't necessarily always respect that. And what it is, family, is space. So connection is important, right, with the individuals that you're with, but so is space. All right. So space within a relationship means that you both have the freedom, right, to do your own thing when you want to. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So you feel supported, but you know that you can make your own choices. So it's not just physical space, but it's also emotional space. Okay. So this also means that you still enjoy, you enjoy some type of privacy. And this privacy can mean separating space to work or relax at home. All right, separating those spaces at work or at home, but it also means, like I said, that emotional privacy. So, what I mean by that, family, is that sometimes individuals have that need to separate, not necessarily separate within our whole relationship, but hey, I need to go do this that doesn't require your space. And it is okay. That goes back to security and insecurity. You need to understand, just because a person say, hey, I'll be back, I need to go take care of something, don't mean that they going out doing A, B, C, and D with everybody else. If you feel that way, ask yourself why. And if that is a strong feeling, remove yourself. You see, remove yourself in the relationship. Because what will happen is you will create a realm of negativity based off of your insecurity. You see? And regardless of what it is, the past, if you are still choosing to be in a relationship with said person, understand that if an individual needs that space and that time, if they have to force it to get it, then everything else is going to be a force, and it's not going to be a loving relationship. So support space. And there's a lot of times when an individual goes and they do their whole little woo-saw type thing, they need that space and time to recharge. And then within that space without you, they start to miss you. You get what I'm saying? Look, I can't miss you if you stay in my face all the time. Look, go somewhere. If you don't, let me go and chill out, right? Let me go and get a stogie or get a little bit of num juice, right? To get my mind off of everything. And then let me come back and then you can be in my face. You understand? But we need to celebrate that and respect each other's space. What you think, Camille?
Absolutely. I think when King asked me, that's one of the things I said was I need space. And that's because I need space to think. I need space to mess up. I need space, mentally mess up, just let it all out, to regroup my thoughts. When I have a lot of things going on the outside, it's hard for me just to really kind of focus on what I need and what I want and, where I'm going and my goals. And so I require space, and I don't have to go anywhere. I've learned that, especially those of us with kids around, you can't just, be dropping off your kids all the time or just leaving them at home. You can't do that. But I can mentally check out. I can be in the same room and mentally space out because I had to create that. A lot of people see me like, now here we're all on these podcasts and things like this or video casts. There's 3 I'm doing a week now. Plus I have some other stuff going on, my hands are in 1,000 pots. And so I have to really just people think that I'm very, very outgoing, which I am. Don't get me wrong. Outgoing is not synonymous with extroversion. So I am not an extrovert. I'm an introvert. And so I recharge when I'm by myself, when I have space. I recharge when I can just literally lay on my bed and look at the ceiling and think, that's how I recharge. And so people don't understand that I don't have to be filled with a lot of stuff. If you want me to be creative, if I need to get something done, I need space. I need space from things, from noise, too many noises. If I got conflicting things, even that sends me into a tizzy. So I need quiet and I need space. And sometimes that's on a walk. I get my best ideas when I'm outside walking, and I can't wait to do that again. So space is important for so many things, and just to breathe sometimes, just to breathe.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's so necessary. I know what I like to do is get up early in the morning, like 4 or 5 sometimes, and just go. Right. Go. I either, hit the gym and get it all out and whatever the case it is, just so individuals or friends, family, whatever, don't feel away when I need to go and like right in the middle of the day. Sometimes people feel as though when the sun is up, it's your service to everybody else. If that makes sense. It's almost like your telephone. For some reason, people feel as though your telephone is for the world to have access to you. No, that's the opposite. It's for you to have access to the world. Because if I so choose to cut it off, I don't want to hear it. You dig? And look, if you ain't paying my phone bill, it's because I want to cut it off, or whatever the case it is. So we have to find ways to create the space that we need. And those that's in a relationship with this friendship or whatever the case it is, they need to understand that and respect that, especially if they want the best version of you. You cannot get the best version of someone when you are constantly up in their grill. You understand? You can't do that. And then ask yourself, why do you need to be in somebody's face all the time? If that makes sense. Like, what else do you have going on? You know, maybe you might want to go and do that. You know what I'm saying? It is okay. It's healthy, y'all. And I'm saying this in jest, but we have to understand that we came into this world essentially alone, but we find time, we can utilize that space to connect back to us, right? To give you the better version of us, the best version of us. But if we don't have that isolation time, we don't have room to do that. And so the question is, when do we do it?
Well, I think it's important to note when we're talking about this belonging, you have to know, again, to Hugh's point, you got to know who you are. There are some people who are extroverts and they recharge by being around people. There are people that cannot be alone. I don't know the whole reason. That's just how they feel they're most comfortable. They're creative. They're all this when they're in a group setting. So, when we're talking about belonging and the need to be, maybe you need to find a person who is a little bit more understanding or a little bit more like you, instead of getting with that person who wants to smother you all the time. It's nice to feel needed and wanted and everything like that. But at the end of the day, if their need is to have that space and you can't, by the way you're made up, can't afford them that space, maybe, because like I said, for me, if I don't have space, I will start fighting. Not physically, but like mentally. And I'm like, I just need space. I need to get away. I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to talk. I don't want to open up my mouth. I don't want nobody, breathing next to me or anything like that. And because I feel constrained, even in my thoughts, because that's the time when I'm honest with myself about a lot of things that I don't, and then, you have somebody around. I know this sounds silly, y'all, but I'm having my own conversations in my head and I'm like, they sit there, you're like, they judging me about my thoughts. I just want to be able to be free with, let them out into the atmosphere without them having to bump up against nothing, even mentally, you know what I'm saying? Even mentally. So, some people don't require space and they're those smothering types and things. And they feel like everybody should be like that because I need so much affection and attention. Somebody else does too. No, we don't all need it. Even if I'm outgoing, I'm fun. I like to get out there and be around people. When I go home, mousy. That's where I work.
No, I get you. And you know what? With that being said, I understand that it's situational as far as being an introvert and an extrovert, right? And so I can do both, but I understand when I need to do both. Yes. Because just like what you're saying, you will start to fight. To me, I would start to get irritated. Like I can sit there and like, why are you blinking so hard or so loud? Like, what is going on? What's up with your click, 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 click? You see, that means it's my problem. You dig?
That's what I mean by fight.
I need to go. Because your eyelids sound like doors closing. Why are you swallowing so loud? Why you got to take so many why are you breathing so much?
Why are you chewing so loud?
Why are you chewing so loud? Listen, why are you breathing? See, so that means I need to, you see what I'm saying? I need to know myself to go on and get away, get out there. You understand? Because if you don't have that space, you will start to create things that's not there.
To get the space. I'm creating an argument so I can walk out the house.
Exactly.
Be able to breathe.
And you shouldn't have to do that. Like, you know what? Look, I don't even like the way that you looked at that picture. I'm gone. What? You see what I'm saying? So we need to understand that we need to have that communal and that individuality. You understand? Sometimes, and I'm not lying. Look, like, why you bring, like, really, like, do you got to suck up my air? It's cool over here. Now it's hot when it come out your mouth. Why is that?
Oh
I need to
gosh.
chill. But it's an individual thing. It's an individual thing. And look at it. It was like time is, yes, your time is vital. And but we need to understand that we cannot be everything to everybody, and everybody can be everything to us. And this is another thing too. And I give this to you guys out of love. Please understand this, that you have to understand, if you cannot be everything to everyone, just be the best version of you that you can be. And vice, all right? And vice. Because it's individuals that have that need to be. You cannot securely provide that need to everybody because it's not in your molecular structure. Like, if someone needs validation from me every day, they're going to be highly frustrated. You know why? Because I ain't set up like that. This is what Seth does. Okay, this is what Seth does. Hey, I see what you're doing. Right on. And I'm gone. Listen, that's it. If you want me to sit there and tell you how great you are and how the world is not going to be able to turn because since you're doing such a great job, you are creating a whole better ecosystem, and that, you know, the world hunger is not. I don't got time for that, and that's not. You feel me? So
Yeah.
understand what you can give to people, and smartly communicate to that person what you can give to them, but it has to be a respect there, so we both know. What do you think about that, Camille?
That's important because it goes back to self, right?
Yes.
So even though we have basic needs, we have human needs of connection, we have human needs of being accepted and things like that. It starts with self. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need somebody to validate everything that I do. You know, if I'm doing a project for something, of course, I want their validation that this is on the right track. But, you know, at the same time, I'm confident in a lot of my abilities and things like that. Again, you have to give yourself what you're expecting from others too. You know, self-love, self-acceptance, self-validation, self-determination, self-development. All of those things start with self.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, when you have to, and it's really peeling back the onion, you know, this need that I have, where is that stemming from?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can tell you that the need for certain types of security and things like that, I can tell you exactly where it came from, because I've taken the time to peel back that onion and say, why is this so important? You know, I just shared a little bit about you. You know, my bank account got wiped out a couple times, you know, went in there and I done saved all this money and boom, it's in the negative. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And so my partner now has to have some sort of money management skills. You know, security is not just about, you know, I had a guy friend, he said, we were talking about, you know, being together or whatever. And he was like, well, and I asked him about work. What happens when you retired? He was like, well, if my first job ain't cutting it, then it becomes my second job. I'm like, boom, that's the kind of dude I need right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you will do whatever it takes to provide a home for your family, you know, with or without me, that's how you feel this is your responsibility, that's security for me. You know what I mean? Physical security for me because of my history of abuse. There's certain things that I need, but I'm able to communicate that. And so, but it starts with self. And that was that introspection, that getting to know who I am, what makes me tick, why I do certain things, you know, whatever, that I can share that with whoever I'm bringing into my circle.
Absolutely.
Or whatever circle I'm trying to get into.
Absolutely. So. And it all starts with self, ladies and gentlemen, but what we're talking about is the need to be, and whatever it is, ultimately is the need to be loved. You understand that it is a need to be loved, and there's so many different types of love out there, but what we have full control over is how do we explain that love to an individual that we love. You see? So we can't expect individuals to just arbitrarily guess how we want to be loved. No, we need to talk about it and say, hey, this is how we want to, this is how I want to be loved. And this is two type of conversations, or maybe same conversation, but two different subjects. This is what I need to be loved. enable for me to feel love, right? I can feel love this way. However, this is the opposite. This is how I feel that you are not loving me when situations like this happen. You get what I'm saying? So we have to be able to have that conversation and not place the blame from your last relationship, occupation, or friendship on a new situation, relationship, or occupation. Because if you're trying to build a new house with those old bricks, what you think you're going to get? The same house. You understand what I'm saying? So get rid of the bricks that was built in your old relationship. Remember them. You understand? Remember them, but get rid of them and build better ones based off of the knowledge from the last relationship. However, if you do not know how to smartly explain what has happened, and then you recreate the whole situation, this person that you may be with may not even know what you went through, but their values and morals are so different than yours, you're going to equate them to your last relationship that you didn't even tell them about. You get what I mean? So that's when it comes down to ownership and knowing what we need for love and how to be loved.
And even how, I find myself sometimes, saying like, I'm trying to tell you how, to talk to me. I'm trying to teach you how to love me. I'm trying to teach you how to, like show me that thing. These are the ways that I can accept it, and if you continue to do something that I've already expressed to you several times, like you said before, that I can't receive that. And something is going to have to change, because if I can't receive it, then no matter how many times you do it, I can't receive it. And I'm telling you that for a reason, and so it's like, if you just listen, you can't do that. I don't know if that's how you I don't know who used to talk like that, but you can't talk to me like that. Right. I'm not that girl, and I'm not your kid, right. Or you cannot do these things to me, because this is, and I have to be honest, this is my past. I'm not bringing it into it. I'm trying to tell you what it is to stop it. You know what I mean? So that I don't have to go there again, that this is a trigger for me. So please don't do that, And so it's hard when people don't accept that from you, when you're trying to tell them, I'm trying to teach you about me.
And that's the key too, because if I'm explaining to you when I'm sitting here explaining to you what it is that I need, or what it is I like or don't like, that means that I care. Yes. You understand? That means that I care enough to explain that to you. This isn't an argument. This isn't a debate. It doesn't matter how I say it. I can put it in a text message. If I say, this is what I don't like, and I'm sharing that with you, that means I'm giving you what I believe you need to understand not to do this anymore, or this makes me feel away. Now,
because I value this relationship enough that I don't want to lose it.
Right.
So I want to tell you.
Exactly. So, but if I do it, text, communicate, drawing pictures, snail mail, you dig? With the pictures, you know what I'm saying? Just so you can get it, and you still don't get it, I need to hold myself accountable and say, self, what's going on? They're not getting it. Are you sure? They're not getting it. Okay. So then I need to stop investing in that conversation and stop and that'll be something else. Us expecting someone to get us. Stop it. You understand? Our expectations for other people will be our demise. Yes. If you understand that. Absolutely. Understand what people show you, except that that's who they are. But after you give someone something, say, hey, this is what I need, you can't expect them to give you what you say you want. Just say, all right, I'll let you know, and I'm okay.
Yep. I feel the same way. That's so important. And sometimes, you have to know when to say when, because some people just don't want to get it. And I always say, if I've told you 100 times, you said you hear me and you keep doing it, you don't want to get it. which means that you don't value this relationship enough to do what it takes to stay here, you know. And it's different for me. Again, I need to be able to do what I do, to think on my own, to make my own choices about certain things when it affects me. When it affects other people, then I need to bring it in and we need to talk about it. But if you continue to buck up against that, you know, like I said in my previous relationships, and it was like, you don't even care. I finally get it that I am not a priority to you. This relationship is not a priority to you. So I have to be my own priority. And so I have to leave here because I know I'll never get what I,
There
you
you
know,
go.
what I need in this relationship. So, you know, you got to cut ties, but we all have a need to be. You know, we all have a need, an innate need to be in so many different ways, but how you express that, what you allow to come into your life, what you, you know, decide, do I have to flip and flop or whatever the case may be, that's up to you.
That's right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the need to be. Understand who you are and understand those individuals that's in your surroundings. And understand when individuals cannot get it, when they cannot get it or they refuse to get it, that's who they are. But we appreciate y'all for watching this. Make sure y'all tune in. Go to Roku or Amazon Fire. Download Lions Pride Network. Okay, it's the channel. And if you don't want to watch us, you can always listen to us. Okay, make sure
And leave
you
a review.
Yes. Oh, yes. Leave a review. I put that information in our in the chat. But again, you can listen to this later on at www.thelionspride21.com. Okay, and we do appreciate y'all. We're going to see y'all again next week. Right on.
Right on. See ya.
Later.